Hi everyone, Joe Vitale, American Retirement Advisors with the Gradient Investments Weekly Talking Points for the week ending June 24th, 2022. Let's get into stocks. The U.S. stock and bond markets were closed on Monday. But what happened, equities rose across the major global indices last week with the U.S. Benchmark S&P 500 gaining 6.46%. The Russell 2000 added 6.02 and the NASDAQ climbed 7.51. Overseas, the developed markets, which is the EFA, gained 2.83, while the emerging markets increased 0.81. Within the U.S., the best performing sectors were consumer discretionary and healthcare, while energy and materials were the laggards, and growth outperformed income. Now, I want to tell you another thing too. As we look at last week, we did have a good week, but yes, we are still down 15 to 20%, 30% across the board. Are we at the bottom? We keep talking about this. Are we going to be going up? We're seeing the markets go up a little bit here, and this is what happens. We don't know when the bottom is. We don't know when to time the market. Nobody does, right? But we stay invested, we stay diversified, we're going to be okay because we are long term. Talk about interest rates. They declined and bond values rose, with the benchmark 10-year Treasury yield dropping 12 basis points to finish the week at 3.13. Remember, the 10-year Treasury was at 3.5. We started the year probably about 2.5 in the fourth quarter last year, so it went up about a full point. Now it's back down over a quarter point. The Federal Reserve Chairman Powell spoke to Congress last week and indicated that its plans for raising interest rates will be effective in reducing inflationary pressures. That is very true. It should reduce the inflationary pressures, but they have to almost force the recession in order to get to that. So you're going to actually see interest rates go up. You're going to see things settle down a little bit. We are, I think, in a mild right now, so we're going to see how that goes through. Talk about commodities. Following supply turmoil and inflationary shocks in the first part of the year, industrial metals have declined sharply. Aluminum prices have fallen 38% from the early March highs. Similarly, copper prices have fallen 24% from the early March highs on expectations of lower global economic growth. Now, copper is often referred to as Dr. Copper for its ability to protect future economic trends. Also, the price of West Texas crude oil has fallen 13% since its March high. Economic data, the U.S. business revenues dropped in June according to preliminary survey. The U.S. S&P Services Index fell to a 5-month low at 51.6 from 53.4 in May. Meanwhile, the manufacturing index slid to a nearly 2-year low of 52.4 from 57 in May. Recall that that number over 50 signifies expansion. Any number over 50 signifies expansion, and reading below that mark is economic contraction. So the report also revealed that the pace of inflation cooled in June versus the rate in the prior months. Existing home sales declined 3.4% in May versus April, better than consensus expectations of a 4.5% drop. And the median sales price was $407,600, which is a 14.8% increase on a year-over-year basis. Interest rates have risen sharply in recent weeks, with the current average rate on a 30-year fixed at 5.81%. Again, still a good rate, but not like we were getting 2 to 3%. Consumer sentiment fell again to a final June reading of 50. Below the consensus expectations of 50.2 and well below May's reading of 58.4. It was the lowest reading since the University of Michigan began tracking it in 1978, and inflation continued to be a dominant factor of the consumer confidence. So get into some company news. Darden Restaurants, which is a G50 holding, reported sales and earnings that exceeded consensus expectations, including 11.7% increase in same restaurant sales. Management also initiated next year earnings per share estimates, and the bond increased the dividend by 10% and increased its share buyback program by $1 billion. Yield on the new dividend rate is 4.04%. And remember, now this is what we talk about, our G50 portfolio having those consistent dividends in retirement. Remember, things kind of pull back, earnings are still there, dividends go up, it's still good income regardless. Technology stocks performed well last week, including the Contrarian Choice, Core Select, and G33 holdings. Adobe, Amazon, Mercado Libre, and Snap Splunk and Sprout Social, which all rose between 7.5% to 33.1% last week, so they all did very, very well. And I've seen those in their portfolios, and I'm sure you've seen that if you've been watching them. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for being part of our ARA family. To contact us, give us a call at 855-756-5700. Visit us Facebook, YouTube pages, or scan the QR code to get our newsletter. God bless you. I will be out next week for the 4th of July holiday. I'll be on vacation with my family. Have a blessed Independence Day, and we look forward to seeing you when I get back. Take care now.